Hi, today I'll be talking about chickens, specifically genetically modified chickens. They were created in the 1970s, and since then, GMO has taken off, experimenting with different animals, not just with a successful effective rate of growth from the chickens, but also different crops, such as corn and soy. Although they were claimed to have no side effects, the United States are the only countries that has turned the product public where GMO foods are big on them, specifically 90% of their crops and their poultry. I chose this issue for its own moral dilemmas and what would be the outcome if we try to remove one of them. So in short, this issue is a conditional statement. So if we look at the human's perspective, it would be highly different, or the environmental's perspective. But before we get into all of that conversation, let me first tell you what a GMO is. A GMO is a genetically modified organism or an organism that is genetically modified. That is all. It may be what it sounds like, but it's much more complex than that. GMO is the process of changing the sequence of an organism's genome that benefits us humans more. Scientists would amplify or modify, emphasis on the modify, to select the good traits of these organisms and dissect them from the naturally flawed ones, such as, well, chickens. So I have experienced this many times. So have you ever been on a fast food chain that particularly is famous for their chickens? So in my experience, I went to this fast food chain that has 11 that has their chicken drenched in 11 herbs and spices. So, do you ever get the feeling when you're waiting for your food and when they're tending to yours, you wish that they would pick you the bigger part, but when you end up in the back or in the rib part, you can't really do anything because you're not that type of person and you're really scared to tell them? Well, if in that case, it would be highly, undoubtedly impossible for you to experience that in the States because well, like I said, 90% of their poultry are genetically modified. So if a chicken is a normal person, genetically modified chickens would be a super soldier. And maybe, just maybe, one of them is Captain America. But what makes them so special? Why are they so big? Well, they are fed with growth hormones. That's it. No. So, these growth hormones are essentially the ones that are used for us humans, or the the chemical tyractin that helps boost our immune system and essentially pumping up our amino acids. So, what would happen if an adult would take immense amounts of it? Uh, it would give you heart problems because essentially it would make your blood pressure faster. So then it would literally make your heart skip a beat, and it would give you irregular palpitations and mild cardiac arrest. So yeah, the advantages of it are they're big in portion, so demand would be less, and then everybody can be fed with protein. But the disadvantages of it are environmental and unethical. So there, first of all, is isn't before genetically modified organisms already unethical what we're doing to them? Just think about it. The Our lean meat, the cows are being bred to die, and their cows, their milk would be drenched up and essentially turned into milk or cheese. So yeah, in chickens, they would be in this case they would be force fed with some sort of chemical, and they would just go big. And yeah, it's really hard for the chickens because their amino acids also gets boosted up. So What the farmers would do is they would just they would really scout the ones that are really big enough to be killed so that they won't die naturally.